West Virginia, a land of rolling hills and dense forests, holds many secrets. One such story has captivated and terrified listeners for decades. It's the story of the Flatwoods monster, a creature so bizarre that it defies easy explanation. Even today, the events of September 12, 1952, continue to fuel debate and ignite imaginations. Our story takes us to the small town of Flatwoods, nestled in the heart of Braxton County. It was here on a cool autumn evening that something truly extraordinary was said to have occurred. The tale begins with a group of young boys, their imaginations running wild with stories of a fiery object falling from the sky. Little did they know they were about to have an encounter that would change their lives forever. The legend of the Flatwoods monster is more than just a local ghost story. Was it a case of mistaken identity, a trick of the light, or something truly otherworldly? Join us as we journey back to that fateful night. It was a typical September evening in Flatwoods, the air crisp with the scent of autumn leaves. 7 boys, ranging in age from 10 to 17, were playing on the lawn of the May home. Suddenly, a bright object streaked across the sky, leaving a trail of fire in its wake. It crashed into the property of a local farmer, G. Bailey Fisher, illuminating the night sky with an eerie glow. The boys, their curiosity piqued, decided to investigate. Led by the eldest, 17-year-old Edward May, the group raced towards the Fisher farm, their hearts pounding with a mix of excitement and apprehension. As they approached the site of the crash, a strange, pungent odor filled the air, stinging their nostrils and making their eyes water. Despite their initial fear, the boys pressed on, determined to uncover the secrets of what they believed to be a crashed meteor. The boys, armed with only a flashlight, cautiously made their way up a hill towards the area where they had seen the object descend. As they rounded a bend, the beam of their flashlight illuminated something that made their blood run cold. Frozen in place, the boys stared in terror at the apparition before them. It was tall, at least 10 feet high, with a round, pulsating head that glowed an eerie red. Its body, seemingly metallic, resembled a large bell or a pleated skirt, obscuring any discernible limbs. The creature's most terrifying feature, however, was its face. 2 large, glowing eyes like those of a cat stared back at them with an otherworldly intensity. Panic surged through the group. Edward May, usually the bravest of the bunch, stumbled backward, dropping the flashlight in his haste to retreat. The creature, startled by the sudden movement, let out a shrill hiss that seemed to echo through the trees. The boys didn't need any further encouragement. They turned and fled in terror, scrambling down the hill. News of the sighting spread through the small town of Flatwoods like wildfire, quickly growing into a local legend. The following day, a group of townspeople, including local law enforcement officers, accompanied the May brothers back to the site of the encounter. They hoped to find some evidence, some tangible proof, to corroborate the boys' story. The pungent odor still lingered in the air, and the grass where the creature had stood was flattened and discolored. Other than these scant clues, however, there was no sign of the monstrous being. Despite the lack of physical evidence, the witnesses' accounts remained remarkably consistent. Each boy described the creature in detail, their stories aligning in all the important aspects. Even under intense scrutiny from authorities and the media, they refused to waver in their claims. Theories abounded as to the creature's true nature. Some dismissed it as a case of mass hysteria, fueled by the boys' overactive imaginations and the pervasive Cold War paranoia that gripped the nation. However, none of these explanations could fully account for the creature's unusual appearance and behavior. As the days turned into weeks, the initial frenzy surrounding the Flatwoods monster sighting began to subside. However, the story continued to fascinate and frighten people far beyond the borders of West Virginia. The witnesses, now forever linked by their shared experience, found themselves thrust into the national spotlight. Edward May, the eldest of the group, became the de facto spokesperson for the witnesses. He recounted their story in numerous interviews, his voice unwavering as he described the creature's terrifying appearance and their harrowing escape. Despite facing ridicule and disbelief from some quarters, Edward remained steadfast in his account. The younger boys, though initially traumatized by their encounter, eventually came to embrace their role in the legend. They shared their stories with anyone who would listen, their accounts becoming more animated and embellished with each retelling. For them, the Flatwoods monster was more than just a scary story. It was a tangible reminder of a night that had changed their lives forever. The possibility that the Flatwoods monster was an extraterrestrial visitor captured the imagination of many. It emerged during a time when UFO sightings were on the rise, fueled by Cold War anxieties and a growing fascination with space exploration. The idea that we might not be alone in the universe was both thrilling and terrifying, and the Flatwoods monster seemed to embody this duality. Proponents of the extraterrestrial theory pointed to several aspects of the case that defied conventional explanation. The creature's bizarre appearance, its glowing eyes and metallic body, suggested a being unlike anything found on Earth. The pungent odor reported by the witnesses was compared to the smell of ozone, often associated with electrical discharges and, some claimed, UFO sightings. Furthermore, the timing of the Flatwoods monster sighting coincided with a wave of UFO reports across the United States. Just days before the incident in West Virginia, a series of unexplained lights had been observed over Washington, D.C., causing a national sensation. Some speculated that the Flatwoods monster was somehow connected to these sightings, perhaps even an occupant of one of the unidentified craft. While the extraterrestrial theory was embraced by some, it was met with skepticism from others. Skeptics offered a range of alternative explanations for the Flatwoods monster sighting, attempting to ground the extraordinary event in more familiar terms. One of the most popular theories suggested that the boys had misidentified a common barn owl. Barn owls, with their heart-shaped faces and large, forward-facing eyes, could appear quite intimidating in the dark, especially when viewed from below. Proponents of the barn owl theory pointed out that these birds were known to inhabit the area where the sighting occurred. They argued that the creature's glowing eyes could be explained by the reflection of the boys' flashlight off the owl's highly reflective eyeshine. The creature's unusual body shape, they suggested, was a result of the boys' distorted perception in the darkness and their heightened emotional state. Other skeptics proposed that the Flatwoods monster was nothing more than a case of mass hysteria. They argued that the boys, caught up in the excitement of the meteor sighting and influenced by local folklore, had allowed their imaginations to run wild. The power of suggestion, they claimed, could explain the remarkable consistency of the witnesses' accounts. Despite the efforts of skeptics to debunk the legend, the Flatwoods monster continued to capture the public's imagination. In the years since that fateful night in 1952, the Flatwoods monster has become an integral part of West Virginia folklore. The story has been passed down through generations, told and retold around campfires and in hushed tones. The creature has been immortalized in books, movies, and countless works of art, its image gracing everything from t-shirts to coffee mugs. The town of Flatwoods, once a sleepy hamlet in rural West Virginia, has fully embraced its connection to the legend. The Flatwoods monster has become a source of local pride, drawing tourists and curiosity seekers from far and wide. The town hosts an annual Flatwoods Monster Festival, celebrating all things cryptozoological. The festival features live music, food vendors, and of course a Flatwoods monster costume contest. The event draws thousands of visitors each year, eager to immerse themselves in the legend and experience the unique blend of humor and horror that the Flatwoods monster represents. The legend of the Flatwoods monster has also had a significant impact on the field of cryptozoology, the study of hidden or unknown animals. The case is often cited as one of the most compelling examples of a close encounter with an unidentified creature. More than 7 decades have passed since the Flatwoods monster first terrified a group of young boys in rural West Virginia. In that time, countless theories have been proposed, debated, and ultimately dismissed. Yet the mystery remains unsolved. Was it a misidentified owl, a figment of overactive imaginations, or something truly extraordinary? The lack of definitive answers has only served to fuel the legend. The Flatwoods monster continues to capture our imaginations, reminding us that there are still mysteries in the world that defy easy explanation. It speaks to our innate fascination with the unknown, the possibility that something lurks just beyond the edges of our understanding. Whether you believe in the existence of the Flatwoods monster or dismiss it as a tall tale, there is no denying the power of its story. It serves as a reminder that not everything can be explained away by science or logic. Sometimes the most compelling explanations are those that embrace the unknown, acknowledging that there are still wonders in the world that we may never fully comprehend. The Flatwoods monster, with its glowing eyes and metallic body, remains an enigma, a symbol of the enduring power of mystery and the allure of the unexplained.